So let's talk about retail banking in Africa. Cutting-edge technology and innovations are changing the landscape of retail banking business around the world. But here in Africa, with a significant population of underserved, disadvantaged and low-income segments, retail banking is yet to fully catch up with the best global standards and parameters. So rethinking retail banking architecture and infrastructure via digital delivery channels will be the focus of a conference taking place in Lagos on Friday. Pascal Debo is a financial analyst and the country director of JF & O'Brien here in Nigeria. Is joining me now to chat to the retail banking business, Nigeria's perspective. Good afternoon, Mr. Odibo. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. So as far as you're concerned, what are the key issues in retail banking, architecture and infrastructure in Africa?
The key issues here are, a lot of the banks are beginning to understand that retail is the way to go. However, there is a mindset that needs to be recalibrated.
And what is that?
Most of them are coming from a corporate bank perspective, wholesale bank perspective, and because of the opportunities of retail banking, and they're all entering into it. And what we're saying is that there are strategic infrastructure and architecture that needs to be put in place. And first of all, it is the mindset. If you're still playing in the retail with a wholesale wholesale banking mindset, that's going to be a whole major misfit in the whole issue. Not to talk about the technology that is required to drive such campaign and all the payment platforms. I give you an instance. Before my instance, really, the key thing really is to challenge the market to rethink the work, the model. Banking has changed over the years, and quite so in the last 5 years. And there is absolute need for the operators and practitioners to begin to look at the business model. What brought them here, take them there. So this conference is just to bring mindsets together to begin to act.
How much has been achieved, and what more do you think could be done?
A lot has happened. I give you an instance. The ATM was the first mechanical dispensing machine was launched by the City Bank of New York in 1937, and ever since Barclays Bank came up with the ATM in 1967, and that's about in excess of about 50 years, and that fundamentally challenged the model. Men and human beings didn't need to give you money. You didn't need the physical infrastructure to build a model to get your money. So that has gone over a value chain. However, there are more things you can now do with the ATM beyond just what was done.
Even the ATM's being challenged, isn't it? From ATMs now you've got a mobile device.
Absolutely.
So you don't even need to go to an ATM.
Absolutely. There's not an interface between your ATM and, of course, your mobile phone.
In Africa,
I'm just giving that as an example.
In Africa, in terms of infrastructure, do you need to back this up? Electricity or what you call energy and things like that. Do you think the banks are being challenged? Are they doing enough, or is it because they don't have enough infrastructure?
Let me put it this way. The banks are business people. Unfortunately, people want to keep seeing them as government agencies. They are not. However, government has a business to ensure that there's financial inclusion, get the people in, and to ensure you know the amount of money that is in circulation. So there must be a marriage between what government wants and what the banks want to do. There are certain things banks can't do, and there are certain things they can do. My belief is that if policy and market have a meeting point,
a convergence,
then the economy will take a deflation. And you need that now. Governments will need to begin to see banks as partners, so that the things that they're doing, they will need to understand the consequence of the things that they're doing. And I know I don't want to go into certain areas that are beyond what I'm talking about, but I'll give you an instance. The Nigerian government took away the TSA, started the TSA, and pulled great funds from the banks. Now the banks are all wobbling, and you are asking, why are you wobbling? So if there's an understanding that certain decisions you take as a government will fundamentally affect your market, which will finally, at the end of the day, affect your economy, then there will be a lot of rigor. A lot of rigor will be involved as you take decisions.
But isn't the market for retail banking had always existed? We've always had the demography, we have the population. So what stopped the banks from making the best of this situation?
I made a comment about it. The banks are business people. No matter how much they want to pay, they're business people, but they can work with policy.
So they just go to where the money is.
That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. They are a bank. They take from the place of surplus and to the place of of deficiency. They just play intermediary role. It's just that government has our people, because of the critical role they play, see them from a different perspective. But these guys are, they are support infrastructure for national and economic development. So what we are saying here is that banks, they're not beginning to have the aha moment. They're beginning to say, you know what? Corporate banking is no longer as much as profitable as it used to be. There's a lot of regulation on it. People are now beginning to say, you know what, I have 180 million, I have 50 million people, I have 30 million people. If I can increase the banking population, then I need the infrastructure that will drive it. So the name of the game is number.
It's numbers. It's a game of numbers. Give me some of the 160 million people and I will show you the money. Thank you very much for coming through. Yeah. Pascal Odibo, financial analyst and country director for JFAN O'Brien. Lot to chew on that discussion tomorrow. Let's get on to talk about the world of commodities. Crude prices rose today just before we came on air. U.S. crude around $45, $48 a barrel. That's up more than about 1%. They're recouping some of their big losses from the previous session, but gains are likely to be limited by mounting concerns. The glut in the global oil market is not going anywhere anytime soon. So a bearish sentiment on the oil market from the International Energy Agency on Wednesday sent benchmarks down more than 4% by the close of trading. Let's talk to Adim Okwesa, who is a research analyst at Financial Derivatives. Adim is joining us from downtown Lagos, where we are. Adim, good afternoon. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Yes, let's start with the story from our backyard. Ivory Coast, Nigeria's neighbor here in West Africa, looking to increase its oil and gas production by double by the year 2020. Do you think this is a challenge to Nigeria?
It is a challenge, actually, but you have to know that there will be significant constraints. There will be significant constraints for Ivory Coast to increase production. They have to, their oil industry is a very nascent oil industry, and we know they focus on agricultural products. So it might take longer than 2020 for them to boost oil output. And even that, I think the production level will still be minimal. Let's say $100,000 per barrel, 200 barrels compared to Nigeria's 1.5, 1.7 million barrels per hour. So it wouldn't be a threat to Nigeria's oil production.
In terms of investment money, that's where my concern is. Yes, we got the volume, we got the size, yes, but in terms of investment money, billions of dollars from around the world, if they find the Côte d'Ivoire or the Ivory Coast environment good enough, will they go there or not?
Yes, with that point, yeah, you're very correct. That was very correct. Ivory Coast is already bringing in, we've already seen the report came out earlier this month that investments grew by 25% in 2015. So Ivory Coast, we're already seeing an increase in the FDIs. So apart from Ivory Coast too, we have other countries like Kenya, who are also growing their oil industry, Uganda, which have favorable business climate compared to Nigeria. Nigeria ranks 169 on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index, which is very low compared to other countries. Rwanda, Ivory Coast, Kenya, they have favorable business climate. So of course it will be a threat to Nigeria's investment money.
Yes, it will be. Let's keep our eyes on Ivory Coast. Never say, as in business, as they say, never say never.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. Adim Okwesa, research analyst from Financial Derivatives Company. Very quickly, Ghana, next door neighbor, says the government is under pressure ahead of the elections in November, and analysts are hoping spending to woo voters can be controlled this time around. At the last election, some civil servant salaries more than doubled. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We have a lot to talk about in our marketplace, bonds and the FX.